Hey folks, about 2 months back I was sitting here warning you that Iran might be the next big flashpoint after all those Venezuela oil disruptions started shaking things up, you know what I mean? Man, I really wish I had been wrong about this one. Let me take you through exactly what happened. February 27th, out of nowhere, the IAEA drops this bombshell report saying Iran has to open up for nuclear inspections immediately. Turns out they found hidden uranium stockpiles buried underground that nobody knew about. The very next day, February 28th, boom, President Trump gives the green light, and we launch Operation Epic Fury. Now we're talking serious business here. 50,000 American troops deployed, 2 full carrier strike groups with the USS Nimitz leading the charge, F-35 stealth fighters screaming off the decks, B, 2 Spirit bombers coming in from Missouri, waves and waves of Tomahawk cruise missiles lighting up the night sky. Admiral Brad Cooper, CENTCOM boss, goes on record saying this operation has just begun. They hit over 5,500 targets in the first 72 hours alone. Now wait just a minute. Why the sudden rush? Why now? The official line coming out of Washington is all about neutralizing Iran's nuclear threat. But hold on, didn't we already take out their main nuclear facilities last year? Operation Midnight Hammer in mid-2025, we dropped bunker buster bombs on Natanz, Fordow, Isfahan. The whole nuclear program was supposed to be crippled already. And get this, the Senate Intelligence Committee comes out and says flat out there was no imminent threat to the United States from Iran. No evidence they were about to attack us. So, something doesn't add up here, right? Why risk American lives and treasure on a war when the threat level was supposedly low? I've been digging through this for days now, and let me tell you, this didn't come out of nowhere. This has been building for decades. Let me start with the elephant in the room, Israel. Look, they've been sounding the alarm about Iran since the 1990s. Back then, Benjamin Netanyahu was testifying to Congress, saying Iran was weeks away from having enough enriched uranium for a full nuclear arsenal. He warned their ballistic missiles would be able to hit the U.S. East Coast within 15 years. Fast forward to just before Epic Fury. Senator Marco Rubio tells Congress straight up, we knew Israel was going to take action against Iran. We knew that would trigger attacks on American forces in the region. So we had to hit them preemptively to save lives. Ex-CIA sources are now confirming Israel basically gave the Trump administration an ultimatum. Take out those deep underground nuclear bunkers or Israel would do it themselves, and they hinted they might use weapons they've never officially acknowledged having. Now you tell me, does that sound crazy? Maybe, but look at Trump's 2026 budget for $1 billion to Israel. $3.3 billion in regular aid, $500 million for Iron Dome missile defense, $75 million for counter-drone systems. And who bankrolled a lot of this policy? Miriam Adelson, single biggest pro-Israel donor in American politics, drops over $100 million to Trump's campaign. You start connecting those dots and you see a pattern. But here's where you really need to follow the money trail. This war wasn't just about geopolitics. It was the ultimate weapons commercial playing out live on every TV network and social media platform around the world. Think about it. F-35s engaging in real dogfights over Iranian airspace. Broadcast live on CNN. B, 2 bombers dropping 30,000-pound bunker busters on those mountain facilities. Footage going viral on X. Tomahawk cruise missiles skimming just feet above the ocean waves. GPS guided right into command bunkers. Every dictator, every defense minister watching this thinks the same thing. I need that capability, either to do what America just did or to defend against it. Look at the stock market reaction. RTX, the Raytheon people who make those Tomahawks, up 12% overnight. Lockheed Martin with the F-35s, 9% gain. Northrop Grumman building those B-2s and the new B-21s, same story. This wasn't just war, it was hundreds of billions in future weapons sales happening right in front of our eyes. But here's where it gets really interesting and where your wallet feels it immediately. The Strait of Hormuz. This little 21-mile wide choke point between Iran and Oman handles 20% of the world's oil supply. Iran shuts it down completely after the strikes. 150 massive oil tankers are just sitting there right now, dead in the water. Insurance companies have pulled coverage entirely. No insurance, no shipping. Lloyd's of London basically put a financial kill switch on the whole thing. Oil prices? Brent crude shot past 120 a barrel, and analysts are saying 200 isn't off the table. if this lasts more than 2 weeks. Gas at your local pump? Expect 30 to 50 cents higher by next week, and that's the optimistic scenario. China is losing their minds right now. 10% of their oil imports came from Iran, cheap heavy crude for their refineries. Now, they're scrambling to buy more expensive American shale oil or Saudi crude. ExxonMobil, Chevron, every $10 increase in oil prices puts another $5 to $10 billion straight into their profit margins every quarter. Their production costs stay the same, but what they're selling goes through the roof. And don't forget the dollar. Oil is still priced in US dollars worldwide, Petrodollar system. When oil goes up, global demand for dollars explodes. Check the DXY index. Dollar's getting stronger against every major currency. Some back in 2013, a Russian politician straight up predicted this exact scenario. He said America would strike Iran, oil would spike to $200, and it would cripple both China and Europe while saving the dollar's global dominance. Guy was dead right. Now let me ask you something. Who's actually paying for all this to happen? Who has President Trump's ear on these decisions? Let's look at his top 20 campaign donors. $635 million total. Number 1, Timothy Mellon, old money banking and transportation dynasty. Financial industrial complex personified. Number 2, Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, XAI. His companies hold billions in Pentagon contracts. Just entered programs to build autonomous drone swarms for the military. Number 3, Miriam Adelson, decades as America's biggest pro-Israel political donor, specifically pushing Iran regime change. You go down the list. Ike Perlmutter, ex-Marvel chairman who sat on Trump's Defense Advisory Council. Robert Bigelow, Bigelow Aerospace with defense and space contracts. Kelsey Warren running Energy Transfer Partners, one of America's biggest oil and gas pipeline companies. Straight closure sends billions straight to his bottom line. Howard Lutnick, crypto ties with Tether, now Commerce Secretary. Paul Singer running Elliott Management, one of the most powerful hedge funds on earth. Their latest filings show hundreds of millions in defense stocks and energy index funds that all skyrocketed the moment strikes began. Every single interest group we just talked about is represented right there in black and white. Tech, defense, oil, Israel, finance. This is their return on investment. Now here's a theory that's been floating around. What if some of this was prearranged? What if the deal was cut long before the strikes? Why go to war at all? Everything's negotiated ahead of time. Answer from the military-industrial perspective. Because war is the ultimate live product demonstration. You can't buy that kind of global advertising. Every nation watching now knows exactly what they need to buy from America. But then things get really wild, science fiction-wise. The Pentagon used Anthropic's Claude AI model to help plan Operation Epic Fury. Target identification, battle damage simulations, fusing intelligence from satellites, drones, cyber intercepts, all run through this AI system. Hours after the first strikes, President Trump signs an executive order banning all federal agencies from using Anthropic technology. Why? Because Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei publicly said no to fully autonomous weapons, no to mass domestic surveillance. The Pentagon labeled them a supply chain risk to national security, language normally reserved for Chinese or Russian companies. First time ever used against an American firm. Same day, OpenAI, Anthropic's biggest competitor, signs their own multi-billion-dollar deal with the Pentagon. Message to Silicon Valley could not be clearer. Cooperate with the military and national security apparatus or get designated an enemy. Hours after Iran's first retaliation strikes, guess what they targeted? Not American military bases, AWS data centers. Amazon Web Services facilities in the UAE and Bahrain. Flames shooting out, power cut to entire buildings, servers running banking data, business operations, cloud services worldwide. First time in history, commercial cloud infrastructure has been a legitimate military target. This is what people are calling the beginning of techno-feudal wars, where militaries use AI to plan and execute precision strikes, and enemies retaliate by physically destroying the computing infrastructure that runs the modern world. Our digital world and physical world just collided in spectacular fashion. Now let me tie it all together with the biggest theory of them all, one that connects every single piece we just discussed. Catherine Austin Fitts, Assistant Secretary of Housing under George H.W. Bush, ran a Wall Street investment bank, managed hundreds of billions in government money. Her theory, all these wars from Iraq to Libya to Syria to Iran have been about building what's called the global financial control. 3 pieces. 1, programmable money. Digital dollars with built-in rules about where it can be spent, when it expires, who controls the wallet can be shut off remote. 2, digital identity system linked to that money. Biometrics, retinal scan, fingerprints tying every transaction to every individual. 3, the physical infrastructure enforcing it all. Data centers, 5G networks, satellites, cameras everywhere. Here's why Iran mattered so much. Iran's central bank is the last major one not connected to the Western financial system, not on SWIFT. They sell their oil to China in yuan and other non-dollar currencies. Every barrel of Iranian oil that doesn't touch the dollar system is a challenge to American financial dominance. Take out Iran, you complete the circuit. Remember General Wesley Clark? Right after September 11th, he says a Pentagon general shows him a memo. We're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years. Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, finishing with Iran. That was 2001. 25 years later, check mark next to every single one. Congress is already passing the legal framework. Genius Act creates rules for stablecoins. Clarity Act sets up tokenization of all financial assets. You don't even need government CBDCs. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said it at Davos. Every stock, every bond on one universal ledger. Corporations issue the programmable money direct. Russia claims this is how America dumps its $35 trillion debt on the world. Stablecoins and tokenized assets redistribute the burden globally while corporations take over banking powers. So what's next? Regional conflicts could expand. Taiwan remains ground zero in the tech war. Hegseth says Karg Island, Iran's main oil export terminal, is next on the target list. Expect more volatility. Investor playbook right now. Oil ETFs like USO already up 15%. Energy sector XLE doing great. Defense contractors printing money. Dollar index DXY making new highs. Dollar assets are king. Gold remains your ultimate hedge, SLV or physical. If Taiwan heats up, semiconductor plays like TSM. Markets hate uncertainty, but absolutely love this kind of volatility. Bottom line, folks, this didn't happen by accident. Decades of planning, billions in donor money, strategic energy control, technological dominance, financial architecture, all converging right now. Stay sharp out there. Diversify into energy and defense. Track that dollar strength. Watch the stablecoin legislation like a hawk. This is how empires play their endgame. Thanks for hanging in there with me through all this. Hit that subscribe button. We've got massive updates coming. I'll catch you next time. Stay vigilant.